Oh, that's my mum. And there's my Auntie Renee, who were sisters, and my mum. At Victoria Hall, this was.
That's so sweet.
Charles Gallard's second wife was a Martin.
Charles Gallard's second. She was a Dalard child. She was a Martin. There used to be removals which were in Southborough. The old steam.
Traction engine.
Oh dear. My grandmother was Edith Margaret, who lived in in Sheffield Road, number 6.
Oh right. So
where she used to live with us because we, days when grandmas used to live with you when they got so old. And by then she'd parted from her husband years ago. I don't think probably ever divorced, had just parted. Cleveland. Right. So I don't know. He was alive when I was a child, but never knew him.
Right.
Because in those days you never got in contact with your ex-partners, did you? It was taboo.
Right.
Now that's another one of the wedding, but just the 4 of them. The bride and groom and Kate and Flo, I think.
Whose wedding is this?
My grandma in Cleveland.
Right.
Edith in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Flo there.
Who's
and
that
Kate
one?
the other side. Yeah, that's Edith. That was going back in Hastings over years. Don't know what year that was. We looked after her grandmother first, and then Isabella.
Oh, so
she
one from
died.
one
We went to Spaldus, and then we came back from Spaldus to look after Isabella, who was the last survivor.
So there was 3 years.
Gallard. And then these are Gerald's. Went to, here he is, Gerald went to Australia. It tells you, I think, on the back there. That's his wife, who was a McGuinness, who was probably partly Aboriginal, I think. And they had a baby, who we contacted his son of that guy there, that's the baby. And it does say on the back something, doesn't it? So, dear Beatrice, does it say something like that? No.
From Cyril.
Yeah.
In the...
Taken in the Alexander Gardens at Melbourne. Yes. And this one says to Beatrice, which is my mother, she was aged 20, his wife, taken in Alexander Gardens, St Hilda. We went to there, St Hilda's, but we couldn't find anything. Melbourne couldn't. Yes, it's a very upmarket place, but it wasn't when they went. Very yuppie place now. We found the church they were married in, but we couldn't find any records at all of Cyril. But we eventually went to the library, and they were very helpful. David's New Testament, 1882.
Oh wow!
So it's 130 odd years, isn't it? Old. When these chaps didn't have a lot of work, Gallards gave them to dig the cricket pitch, to make it a cricket pitch. Mm-hmm. All right. And on the back there's a 1909. There's a little. It was addressed to Flo Gallard, and I think it came. I mean, you'd have to read that. Something about it was nice to see you over the weekend, and this, that, and the other.
Delighted to hear the news. Hope Mother is no worse for going out on Monday. Did not have rain on Sunday. Mr. H said it was very wet and rough at Brighton. I did enjoy my stay with you.
With you all.
Who's that from then?
Well, it's from. It doesn't say
to Florence.
Florence, but it doesn't say Esther. Is it? Is it Esther or sister? Or is it Esther? Does it say that?
I don't know. Could be Esther.
Yeah. I mean, the postmark doesn't even tell you if
it says Ellen. It says Ellen at the top.
My mother put that, so she must have known when because that is good writing. Because
Ellen. So who was Ellen?
Well, one went to London. A couple of them worked in London, and I've got addresses in that.
So do you know any more about Isabella Clara then? What she did?
No,
when
she used to. Well, she went to London. Also, she used to be in Brighton, in the lanes in Brighton, where Mr. Fox, that was it, Wolf, had an antique shop, and she was his secretary or personal assistant. She never married, but there was always this tale going on that she was a bit more than his personal assistant.
So she never had any children?
No, all married.
In or out of?
No, she never had any. No.
Ellen.
No. But she was very prim and proper, but we thought there was a little bit more to her than
Mr. Fox.
Yes. That was Cyril, who was the naughty one that did missiles. Mm-hmm. There again, this was a postcard with his bat on Southborough Common. You've seen that. Cyril Henry Pearson, 1906.
Wow. It says 1904.
There we are. Oh, that's our family. My mum and dad when he was in the Air Force. And me, John, my cousin and my sister. My mum and dad in 1941 adopted her Winifred, who was the naughty girl, my mother's sister. She had about 4 out of wedlock, and that was one of them, and my dad and mum adopted her, so she was my sister and cousin. And this gentleman, Uncle Standing his name was, who lived in Taylor Street, he carried me all through Eridge Park, because I was older than that. He was lovely. He absolutely adored me because he had no children. There's Cleveland. That's my Edith's husband.
Yes.
And that is the people in New Zealand. That's her grandfather, so they were brothers, Cleveland. And that's another postcard. Auntie Marjorie, Mother, Auntie Kate, Izzy, Uncle Frank and Cyril Henry Pearson in by the side of the church.
And what's that? Is that the old dairy?
This was a game when you could buy postcards of people.
Yes.
And I think you can do it now. So they're all sitting there. There's the garden again with my mum. We used to come up, this was all the lawn. Used to come up round. And there we are all sitting in the garden again. There's my dad, John, my brother, Barry. That was my John's brother-in-law, Irish. He was, they were Catholic. And the Pussycat,
Black and white.
and that's my dad. Not many, my dad. Explain if you want later in a minute. Dominique, we don't know who that is.
So is that Barry again?
That's Barry again.
And your mum?
And no, that's Annie. That's my sister-in-law who's now no longer with us, or my brother. And of course from here, roughly from here, would have been about here, Barry, was all vegetable garden.
Yeah.
Nothing like this at all vegetable garden this was. Completely.
Yes.
So which number in Sheffield Road did you live in?
Well, we lived in number 6. And I think my mother was born in number 14, because they belonged to the Gallards, all of those. Whether they built them, we don't know. She was 14, but not in that road, just as you go...
It's on the corner.
It's right on the corner.
Of Castle Street.
Number 14, Sheffield Road.
The large house on the corner.
And then they owned the next one, who the Wilcoxes owned, but it got in such a bad state, they were only paying 10 and 6 a week, and we couldn't afford to redo it, because it did need... And then the council used to be able to take them over if they got so dilapidated. They could possess it. But the Wilcoxes that lived there, their children bought it for them and they redid it. So that belonged to them as well. So,
and did you say that the Gallards owned one of the houses behind in Park Road?
Yes, 1A, my mother did.
1A?
1A, Park Road, as you come up on the left. And there's 3 flats there.
That's number 7.
Right.
So 5 Street, the third one down.
Well, as you came up into Park Road, it was on the left.
Yeah,
we did own that, as I say, but then we sold it to somebody from London. He bought it for £4,000.
Yeah, number 1A.
Yeah, 1A, didn't he?
So was that a whole free 1A, but was it wasn't
1A,
a flat? Was
whole
it a flat?
1A. It was a semi, I think. I think it's a joint. Was it a joint to something else?
It was the same size as that one, but obviously right hand side of it.
Okay.
So it had 3 flats.
Yes. 3 floors.
Yeah, 3 floors and 3 flats. And then they sold it to Mr. Herschel, or somebody his name was, for £4,000. I don't remember what. So all in all, they did own quite a lot of property. And then, because Boyne Park, he owned property there, didn't he, Charles?
Well, he built, yes, CJ built it.
No, this is lovely, all this alteration, because it was very, very utility when we were here. But it was practical, you see. We even had a line where you hung your washing, as you saw that prop. But it was going this way, not that way.
Okay. When Monica got married, so she left.
In 1961, when I was 7.
You were 7. It's quite a gap then, isn't there?
15 years.
Right. So she left. So who was left? Just you and your parents?
Just me and Mum and Dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cynthia was working in London for Barrow's business machines.
Yes.
Sharing a flat with 2 others. And then she went to South Africa in '66 and lived on that continent ever since.
Right.
Left here to go to the Ridgeway School at 11.
Right.
Which would have been 1966. Moved at the same time as moved school.
Okay.
So I used to go to school at
So
number 7, which is the one over there.
So your parents decided to sell the house.
And have the bungalow built in
Right.
place of the cottage.
So you don't really remember whether you were pleased or sad to leave the big old house, or?
Well, I wasn't sad.
No.
Let's put it that way. I don't think I was sad, and I don't think I was pleased either. It was just something you did. It didn't make a difference, I don't think.
The Gallards used to have a yard there
Oh, I see.
as well.
But you said it was cottages there.
One cottage was
One
called
cottage.
Warren Cottage.
Okay, yeah.
And a Miss DeWitt used to live in it.
Oh, yes.
And she was South African,
Right,
and probably the rent she was paying was little or nothing.
right.
And they couldn't put it up by rule. They couldn't put it up, you see, so they couldn't do any more. And then eventually she died. And my mum owned it by then.
Yeah,
And they decided this was too big, they built a bungalow.
yeah.
And that's what they did.
C.J. Gallard.
Gallard, yeah. Yes, this was always an entrance here. This was complete entrance. You came up. Yeah, you could get all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, this was called the tradesman's entrance. Yeah, and the tradesmen used to use it even when.
So was it then separated from the front door somehow, or just?
No, you just
No,
came
this was
straight
just
up, didn't
straight
you?
up.
And then you went sort of round to this side.
So if you were a tradesman, you.
Yeah,
Come up here.
up here and straight through there. Where
Right.
The garage was.
So, but was there any sort of hedge or something separating you from the front door?
nothing.
So you could still nip in the front door even if you were a tradesman.
Yeah.
you
and-
could
and-
just knock on
yes,
that door, yeah.
so that's what I
original
see,
door,
original.
original furniture on the outside.
And that
too,
was
innit?
square. Definitely square. Wasn't rounded like that.
No.
I should know because we used to say good night on this here.
The red
And I'm
tiles.
sure it was the old tiles.
The red
Yeah,
tiles,
the
yeah,
old
red
lovely old
quarry
tiles
tiles,
that were
red
there.
quarry
Yeah,
tiles, yeah.
definitely. Because there wasn't that wide entrance, because there wouldn't have been, because you didn't want, without a car, you didn't need a wide entrance. There was a big.
But you did
green-
have a car.
Yeah, they did, but not when I lived here.
Oh right.
Not when I lived here. You came in the lovely green wooden, heavy wooden green gate with the word San Remo across it, and you came up and it curved like this. And because all this was lawn. You saw me on the lawn when I was confirmed. That was all lawn this
And as you
side.
said-
Now these are the front garden. As you came in the gate, which was a lovely green gate, really solid wood with the word San Remo across, and you came up to the right, didn't you, Marianne?
Yes.
Wound up.
Yeah.
Because I used to do the gardening here. And that was another one. There's the gate down there and the windy path.
These were brought in later. It was just.
Complete lawn, because they used to
And
play.
the original bamboo tree which you've got here is still here.
They're still there.
And I think it was always that size.
Yes, that's right.
So who will have planted that then?
Well, I've always remembered it being here, so who put it there, I'm not quite
Oh, do you think your mum and dad put in that bamboo tree?
I can't remember that.
I remember
Well,
it
I
being
used to
there.
do gardening because we used to come in there and you used to wind all up there, all lawn. This was open because there was a beautiful azalea, an orange azalea tree here. And orange azaleas are the only ones that smell beautiful. Other colours don't. And I did the gardening. So, and of course all that was lawn. And my aunt slept in there, and the Salvation Army used to come and play on the lawn at Christmas. The snow, if there was snow and beautiful. Open up a window, and she used to love it. And it was lovely winding round. I think the gate was farther down.
There is.
I think the gate was here. Definitely here. Definitely here. The gate wasn't there.
It's a foot scraper, isn't it? So you'd
Yeah.
think you'd have it at the beginning where the gate was.
It definitely the
So you
gate was
wouldn't
here.
take it up,
I know
yeah.
it was.
Right.
Yeah, it must
Definitely
be,
wasn't
because
there.
otherwise why would we
Yeah,
have that
it
down
is.
here?
San Remo was a big wide gate, nowhere near as wide as this, with the word San Remo in black, a little plaque on the gate. And
So it was like quite a high gate.
Yeah, yes it was, fairly high gate.
No.
It all used to come down and out
Right.
the same gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So if you were a tradesman, you'd go off
Yeah,
that
we'd
way,
go up, we'd live
and
in
if you were a
the house, we went this way.
gentleman, you'd
Yeah.
go up that way.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right.